founder and the president of Lighthouse Mission. And today I don't have to introduce to you what is Lighthouse Mission is all about. Why? Because the founder herself is here with us to introduce each program of the ministry she founded. And so today we have the opportunity to interview the producer of this TV program, The Daily Walk with Jesus. So let's start. So how are you today, Sister Elaine?
I'm fine. I'm blessed of the Lord. Thank you.
Very good. I know that the viewer of this TV program is interested of how you started this ministry and what is Lighthouse Mission is all about. So if you don't mind, Sister Elaine, is that the right name that we can call you even
Yes,
on this TV
yes.
program? Okay. If you don't mind, we want to know more about you first and later on how the Lighthouse Mission operate. And my question is, how did it all started? You know, the ministry that we call now the Lighthouse Mission.
It started in 1991 of December, going into the year January 1992, but I had a vision from God. And I was in my house, standing up. I wasn't sleeping, and it wasn't a dream, but it was an actual vision. And I saw in big black bold letters, "Go feed the poor." And from that time on, I've, just held on to that vision. I knew that I had heard from God, and God put in my heart and commissioned me to go.
Okay, because of your obedience to God and feeding the poor, I believe there has been many program or ministry set in place, to meet the needs of men and women and even children who come to you for help. So we will talk about the many program that has been set place to meet the needs of the people in a little while. But meantime, I want to ask you how God brought you to this far, that the ministry that God has given you have grown enough to have not only volunteers but regular staff to run the place. So does God show himself faithful to you all these years?
God is very faithful. I think I forgot to say when I was talking about my vision that the words that I saw was "Go feed the poor," which you had mentioned. But that's what the vision was, and I've held on to that. In my sharing about the Lighthouse Mission, I pray that I will encourage the listeners today, that they would be encouraged that God can take someone very ordinary and do something very extraordinary through. So it was through the faithfulness of God that it all started. And when He calls you, He always makes provision. God always makes provision. It's His ministry. And you need to be faithful to follow. It takes an obedience. It takes a stepping out in faith. When God calls you, in a certain area in your life, the provision may not always be there, and that's how the Lighthouse Mission works. I mean, I know that God's called me, and I know when He puts something on my heart to do it, I don't really sit down and say, well, okay, do I have the means? Do I have the provision? Do I have the money? Is it possible? Do you think I can do this? I don't question God. When He says to do something, I do it. And then He always has, over the 14 years, He has always followed by His faithfulness to provide. It's an awesome miracle story of all the people that are getting fed and all the people that are getting help. I mean, it's helped thousands and thousands of people. And through the people that He's so faithful to also send me people, to help. I have, a great staff and lots of people that surround me that make the Lighthouse Mission, be able to do what they're doing.
Wonderful. I believe I'm gonna ask you some personal question. You may or you may not answer this question. Since you got saved, or since God calls you and placed you in this ministry, are your loved ones in favor of your new walk with God, or in favor of your new prayer life, or even your personal and intimate relationship with God, starting from your husband, maybe your children, or your friend? What are their response or their reaction? Do they appreciate what you are doing now, or even probably you have grandchildren already? Would they see you as a model of servanthood to follow?
Okay, good question. Because when God calls you, there's always change. And I lost my friend. We had